And you know the funny thing is I built an insane sugarcane farm, but I rarely actually have time to harvest it despite having so goddamn much of it, which is something I intend to change today because honestly, what's the point in having a big sugarcane farm if you don't use it? As the old saying goes, it's not the size of your sugarcane farm that counts, it's how you use it. And so today, I intend to certainly do that because I actually do have a large amount of use for the sugarcane farm. If you'll believe it, I have like really a ridiculous amount of uses for paper. Worst case scenario, it trades into paper, which can then heal up my tools. Best case scenario, it's books or it can be turned into cakes. And there are so many good uses for sugar, and so I need to have so many individual cases of sugarcane. Some of which I'll be shipping off to my village so that I can fill them off, trade them up, up for books and whatnot, and the rest of which I'll be putting in my chest over here because I built this big melon house specifically as a storage place for my sugarcane, and I do have some of it in here today, but I feel like I could do so much better, so a lot of sugarcane will be coming my way. That's the plan. Hello, I'm ibxtoycat. I'm officially back, and I wanted to do a bit more of a fun, chill stream for those of you who, kind of miss these. I know there's, I really love the survival challenges, and indeed, Caveman, which is coming back Thursday. But I also feel like every time we go too deep in those, we need to take a little bit of a breather and remind ourselves that most of Minecraft isn't insane survival, death, etc. But instead, is a little bit more like, yeah, there's a... for every time you kill the dragon, you've got to, harvest your Minecraft farms 12 times. Probably a lot more like 100 times. But you get the point. There is a little bit of a balance in there. And so let's quickly eat our rabbit stew. Enjoy what's happening. Ooh, isn't that nice? And let's get back into this. So, hello, I'm ibxtoycat. Let's fill our shulker box with our sugarcane. Just make sure nothing else can slide in there. And let's talk about what's been going on, because I did just get back from quite a big trip. In fact, I think we should start high and then go low, maybe, rather than starting low and going high. But, yeah, I think this is one of my favorite... The whole reason I set up the sugarcane farm is because I wanted a farm that would be so big that by the time you harvested it, it would be grown and you could harvest it again. It's infinite harvestability, which is perfect for moments like this, where it's important to have a chat about what's been going on. Because Minecraft is a lot like this sometimes, and having a big harvest session is something I really recommend. Honestly, maybe in your real life too. There are probably all sorts of activities that just aren't necessarily exciting, and so you leave on the back burner, but you need to get around to eventually. So how's the rabbit stew farm going? As you can see, it's going so well, Dynastic Pig. Yeah, eating rabbit stew is a fun but silly thing that I just want to occasionally do in this world. And now that I have it all in one place, it's so much easier to get my brain round to doing. So, yeah, I think that I think that ultimately in Minecraft it's worth spending some time doing these activities, but also maybe you could think about where in the real world you have some equivalent that you're not doing. Because, for an example, I made a video just before this. I've done most of the job working on a video about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a dumb thing, but, because of the situation, I need to make a thumbnail for it myself today. And I haven't made a thumbnail, I reset my PC like 2 weeks ago, and every time I need to make a thumbnail, I'm just like, oh, I'll work my way around this. But today I was like, actually, I need to get that software downloaded again. I need to work out what I'm doing. And so hopefully you like that thumbnail when it comes out later today. But, yeah, it's one of those, it's just one of those examples of, like, there are, in my real world, for example, too, there is a, I've got these brand new, cupboards that I deliberately, set up so I'd have a place to store things, but I haven't gone around to, organizing the cupboards so it's perfect. I could just throw stuff in there, but then it, it's funny, because I kind of learned from storing things in my Minecraft chests. If you just throw stuff into chests and assume that future you knows where it is, you'll never work it out. So I use my Minecraft storage to teach me about the real world, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be very deliberate about what goes where. I might even label it, have a little label that I can check. So if I ever need to find something, I just have to look for the label rather than look for the thing. It's those sorts of things that seem dumb, but actually kind of work out. So we're gonna throw all of these on the ground. It's actually very hard to do that. I might just be better off, honestly, going down manually each time. But we're committing to this bit, and so we're gonna do precisely that. Lots and lots of sugarcane on the ground right now. 5 more minutes to harvest before it goes away. This is cool. Sugarcane paper. I'm gonna have so much paper. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I think that this is a fun, important thing to do. Also, Toycat was in my home province, says Hyena Creates. I was in fact in Quebec. Land of hydroelectric power, apparently. I didn't know Quebec was famous for mountains and electricity. There's so many waterfalls that are dammed up. Maybe that's why beavers are a Canadian animal. You guys took your inspiration from them. But yeah, I had a really good trip. It was great. I think that I think that the chest monster haunting your dream, Mumble Dragon. Honestly, the chest monster doesn't haunt my dream because you can just throw away the chest if it gets too busy. That's all you gotta do. Just throw away the chest. Start again. It's never that hard. It always seems hard. It always feels like, no, I put it in a chest. It must be important. But I think if you just live your life on a little bit more of a nomadic principle, you'll be fine. Which is funny because we spend all of our Minecraft life specifically not being nomadic, but that's just fine. Did you ever find out what the blue line in the road was to Sam Mongrels? I really want someone to tell me. I've yet to find a compelling answer. For Q&A Sassy this week, I showed off a road I was driving on. There was a big blue line that was on my side of the road, and then it switched to the other side of the road. So I couldn't work out what it was. So like some people say bike lane, some people say hurricane path. It doesn't make any sense because it was so wiggly, there was no bike symbol. And why would it switch to the other side of the road with no blue in between? Unless that's just how, you know, people cycle in Canada, I don't know. But yeah, I think that, I think that's an important thing. So, yeah, I went to Canada, or Canada if you insist. I mean, they're called Canadians, so they must be from Canada, right? That's the only logic I can see by. Also, look, we've actually filled up our first shulker box. I'm kind of torn as to whether I should be making paper first, but oh, that's, you know, should have seen that coming, really. So now we'll fill up the second. Where are all these skeletons coming from? I didn't realize. Oh no, okay, my controllers died, I think. I don't know how that happened. Oh god, oh man, okay, so, okay, we're fine. I don't know, something about those skeletons hitting me caused my controller to bug out real hard. Something you should always watch out for. But yeah, I think, so yeah, everyone just keeps saying a bike lane, but you know, I like your theories, but I don't think it's true, right? Like, this is the annoying thing is like, yeah, blue means bike lane in a lot of places, but usually it's accompanied by a bike symbol, and you'd leave a lane big enough for a car. If the lane is too small for a car, it's not a bike lane, right? Anyway, yeah, it's one of those, I like to try and, one of the hardest things to work out is what something is and not just what something feels like. Like, one of the problems that we have as humans is we jump to the easiest available answer more often than we jump to the correct answer. So the history books are filled with just like slightly incorrect things because they feel correct and they're not obviously wrong. But not obviously wrong is a lower standard to try and obtain than right, in my opinion. There was a cyclist in the lane in your video. There was one cyclist the entire time, but they cycled to the right of the road regardless of whether there's a cycle lane, and it was only a 1 mile stretch. You know, that's what I'm saying. It led up to a roundabout, then there was another mile stretch going the other way to the same roundabout. And, you know, see, this is the thing, right? Like, it's obviously not that, but it feels like it could be that, and it solves the question. You know, like, I think that's why people kind of enjoy the deeper dive into philosophy sometimes. A lot of people say I talk about too much philosophy in my videos, but like even just the simplest question, like, you know, is happiness real, or is it just chemical feelings in your brain? It's obviously just chemical feelings in your brain, but then why is it so hard to answer that for so many people? Like, happiness feels like something so much more than just a chemical signal, because you feel it in your only way that you can perceive things. You know, it's like it's kind of a useful thing. So, I'm glad I'm back to Craig Campbell. It's good to see you. Whenever I take like a week away, I'm like, you know, everyone will have forgotten about me. The world's moved on. Who's this Toycat fella? I certainly don't know. And it always feels that way on like the first stream for sure. Like there's always a little like a bit of a warming up period. But I think it's like great that you eventually get there. But yeah, there's honestly it's the weird thing about most activities is people like this is something I've noticed in like street performance and all that sort of stuff. People like when someone looks like they're confident enough to do something. You would never pay to watch a comedy show from someone who's like, I don't actually know what's going on here. We kind of like when people know what they're doing, which means that you kind of, one of the hardest things about starting anything is you can't wrongfully pretend you know what you're doing. That looks ridiculous. But also you can't admit that you don't at the same time. So it leads to all sorts of weird... Okay, so I'll throw this on the ground for now, then we'll pick it up later. There are all sorts of like fun things that result from that, where people like have... You know the whole fake it till you make it thing? You basically have to fake it till you make it in a lot of places, in a lot of situations at least. Which isn't something that everyone loves, you know? I think fake is not a good ideal, but it is the one that we go for. We never move on from you, Toycat, says Ace234DM. I appreciate that. I think anyone and everyone appreciates loyalty. I think people appreciate it to different amounts, though. Like, in the same way that you don't really appreciate money until you hit literally none, and you realize, like, oh god, I cannot do anything. You need to, like, you reboot your life financially in a way, you know, in the same way you won't fix your storage chest till you run out of storage or whatever else. I don't think you appreciate what loyalty is until you have the opposite happen to you. Because by default, everyone is on the loyalty spectrum, but like, do you really care where on the spectrum they are? Like, no one's gonna screw you over actively. But the moment you like have like your first like, oh yeah, that guy, he said he was my friend, but he's immediately using information that he learned by being my friend to like, you know, further himself at my expense. It's like, oh yeah, that's bad. Or like, you know, I feel like almost every. Also, I think I need those gunpowders actually. I'm gonna pick those up. I think basically every trait is something you learn you want or need by not having it. It's a weird thing about how humans work. That like one, or I guess this is mathematics, right? If you go from 1 to 2 of something, that's a 100% increase. Also, currently living in my Future Me t-shirt as I had a fool and can't walk. Defo a Future Me problem. You know, does anyone need to walk? If someone else will do the walking for you, it sounds like you've actually invented a solution, not a problem. But yeah, I think that we live in this... I think we live in a state where we appreciate less what we have because of just mathematics, right? 1 to 2 is a 100% gain. 2 to 4 is a 100% gain. Oh, 2 to 3, I guess, is a 50% gain. And it gets less and less the more of something you get. But going from 1 to 0 is literally an infinite percent loss. Or 0 to 1 is an infinite percent gain. When you first get something is always going to be the best, just mathematically speaking. And so yeah, the first time you get so many things you'll appreciate the most. I think that's one of the most interesting things about basically every company's acquisition strategy. You're watching this on YouTube right now, right? I watch a lot of YouTube myself. I don't know if you're meant to admit that as a YouTuber, because it's always worrying, like, oh yeah, what if you watch a video and you get inspired by it? I think it's always good that like the videos that inspire me are like from outside the genre. But you know, the idea of watching YouTube videos as like a major source of your time, your equivalent of TV, was kind of unheard of not that long ago, like really recently, right? It was something that came out of nowhere because you watch one YouTube video, you're like, oh, I think I'll watch more of this. Then you watch a second YouTube video, and then somewhere in the process it becomes a habit. But the first one is the biggest like hurdle to jump over. That's why it's also the biggest hurdle for companies to get you into. That's why everything has a free trial if it's a paid service. To create the least friction that is possible is every company's goal. So buying 1 box of cereal is great. Buying 5 feels strange and unsatisfying, says Jalocon. Yeah, it's the weird thing about how like a lot of things are priced. I'm sure you've noticed, but like the cheapest way to buy anything is go to a Costco or equivalent size, you know, warehouse store. Go to a store that size, and then all you got to do is buy the largest quantity you can. Sometimes there's false economies, but buying 1 box of cereal is so much more expensive than buying 5. But buying 5 feels like you're making a utilitarian decision about your future eating habits forever, and it's like, oh, how am I going to carry this home? Ignoring that you'd carry 5 times as many things home anyway. Whereas buying 1 feels like a treat. It's like, ooh, I look forward to eating my cereal. Same thing goes for ibxtoycat, you know, Future Me problem shirts. You buy 1, it's a real nice treat. You get to wear it when you have a full. You buy 10, and all of a sudden you're like, man, Future Me is not going to know how to deal with that credit card bill. But yeah, I think that the weirdest thing about it all is how the most efficient decision is often not the easiest one to make in any part of life. Because, you know, we're not robots. We are humans led by emotions, and emotions lead you to some really weird places sometimes. Yeah, also, Toycat, Corbin Leal says, I think I know when Minecraft Bedrock is getting 1.20.20. It's coming out August 5th or 6th. Please credit me if I'm right. You know, Corbin, I want to tell you about something fun. It's called confirmation bias, right? So, right now, there is a 1 in 4 chance, because it's coming out in August. We know that nearly for a fact. So you've got a 1 in 4 chance of being right. But I would say it's more than 1 in 4, because it's already done. We know they're working 1.20.30. I would personally bet that it's coming out that Tuesday too. But you would assume that, like, wow, I made a really good bet, like a 1 in 30 chance. But it's actually more like a 1 in 3 chance bet that you're making right now. And if you make it, you'll be like, wow, I'm so smart. Because we're often too quick to, like, assert us, you know, the positivities of our successes to ourselves, and the negativity of our fails to, like, pure chance. Whereas, you know, like, if you are correct, and I do actually think you will be correct, but it's not because of that. Sorry about that. What I should say instead is, wow, you so smart. I will totally do that. But, you know, I feel like you deserve truth more than you deserve fun. Which, you know, I feel like people have difficulties with the truth, right? It's a challenging thing. Also, my husband's obsessed with buying everything in bulk. It drives me mad. But if you think about it, right? If, you know, let's say an average grocery stop is just 5 items. It's cereal, milk, bread, and pasta, and potatoes. So instead of buying 1 of each of those items, you could buy in bulk 5 cereals 1 week, 5 milks the next week. I guess not milk, because milk goes bad. You know, why is milk a standard part of everyone's life? This annoys me to no end. As someone, I've lived by myself quite a few times. Milk is one of the most anti-single person things in the world. You buy it and it gets so much cheaper as you buy more. So you buy like a liter of it. You buy like the smallest quantity you can, a little pint bottle if you can. And then it goes bad in like 7 days or something like that. You have to go to the store every week. It's dumb. And I hate it. I just want to have a fridge full of stuff. But milk insists on getting in your way. Just buy shelf-stable UHT milk. I don't even know what the T in UHT milk... Yeah, I switched to oat milk for that reason recently. Because, like, I don't know what UHT milk is, but it makes me, like, suspicious in ways that I don't even understand. See, I'm being a human. Analytically, I could Google it and find out it's entirely fine. But, like, you know, it just feels like I'd be making a downgrade. It wouldn't be as cold or something like that. So I bought some oat milk. I leave it in my drawer. And then when I need it, it goes in the fridge. But yeah, it's so dumb. I don't get it. I wish I understood. I stopped buying milk because of it. I haven't in about a year, says Hef761. Thank you to everyone who lives by themselves. I need you to all agree that there are so many things in the world that are messed up as a single person. One of those is the fact that, like, you know, if you need to have a place for a 1-bedroom, you need to have a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, and maybe a living room if you're going fancy, right? That is the single person home. To have 2 people share a place, you need a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen, maybe a living room if you're going fancy, and maybe a second bedroom if you don't know each other well enough to sleep in the same bed. But either way, like, you get, like, for 20% more rooms, or 25% more rooms, depending on how many people you have, you get yourself, for 20% more rooms, you get yourself half the price. It sucks. It's, I guess this is the value of, like, making friends that you want to live with. Making friends who also living alone. There should be a club for that. Like, you know, we live by ourselves, but we'd like to save money. Although maybe people don't value that. Yeah, it's just milk that's been heated to a higher temperature. Why aren't we heating our regular milk to a high temperature then? You know, I'm definitely the weird one here. But, being single sucks, but at least you don't have annoying roommates. Yeah, I can confirm that one. Oh, now that my lodge has been gone for a while, I think I can, I want to make a video about what happened, because I didn't want to talk about, like, ongoing disputes. I think that's, like, an unhealthy way to deal with things. But I have had the wildest time with roommates in the past couple years. I want to go through it with you all. I don't know if this is a unnecessary flex, but it was kind of like it wasn't a 100% nesty. It was like a, I would like to lower my costs sort of thing, right? Like I'm always, I'm very aware that the tail end of YouTube is like a thing that happens to people before they expect it. Everyone assumes that you can be like an important, a famous person forever. But the truth is, like, catching eyeballs is one of the hardest jobs in the world. Like, you watching me right now is a big thing because, you know, all it takes is, like, one day you stop watching a ToyCat video, then you don't watch the next one, and then, like, oh, it's been wild, and you know, like, every single day you lose 1% of your audience or something. Like, it's a constant drift downwards that you have to fight because, you know, people change. If you had 100 friends, you would lose one of those friends every day, no doubt. Because you just, how are you going to keep up with them all? How are you going to, one of them changes, one of them has a baby, one of them moves to Wyoming or something. It gets real tricky real quickly. So, yeah, I'm trying to find friends now. I don't know if the first sentence they want to hear from me is want to live together is the best thing, says Gel Icon. Okay, so, that's the fun thing, right? Is like, you actually are pulling the cart before the horse, or maybe the horse, whichever way around the phrase goes. Because you can actually live with someone, make sure you vibe, and then become friends after you're living together, which sounds like the worst way around to do it. But living with someone that you want to be friends with is a much better idea than being friends of someone you want to live with. Because you can be friends with people outside the home really easily, or in a different way than you can inside the home. There are all sorts of wild things that people think are acceptable in their lives that you definitely don't think are acceptable. Okay, so we want to make this recipe right here. I can't make that recipe for some reason. There we go. Why can't I make the recipe? Huh, that's a weird bug. Okay, there we go. Make some paper, pick it up, and throw it right into this chest, which is partially sugarcane, partially not. By the way, we're doing a killer job at filling up these shulker boxes. It'll be great. So, I now have to drop down this next shulker box just because it's in the right place. And then we'll go way higher up with these next two, like all the way to the top or something. It'll be fun. But yeah, I think that's the interesting thing. You can live with someone and become friends with them later, or not, right? But you'll always have your boundaries and respect placed down. I think a lot of people don't realize that they have boundaries with their friends. Because if your friend ever, like, really does something annoying, or is really annoyed by something you do, let's be honest, it's about half as likely each way. But if your friend does something really, really wild, then you can just leave. And you might not realize how much of a get out of jail free card that is. Also, thank you very much, ToyCat Tax. You really, oh wait, sorry, wrong way. Thank you very much, Drakion Empire. Afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Drakion Empire. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you are having a ghost of a good day. Yeah, I think that that's the first tip back, by the way. Oh no, Mr. Minecraft tip, 99 cents before the stream started. First tip back. First tip back with a message. There we go. Okay, chat. I want to announce this. So these chill and talk streams are great for a lot of things, in my opinion. Why is ToyCat right about this? Change my view, Lamau. It's weird how many things round work like that. Like, one of the big debates, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if there is a right necessarily or not, but there is. Most people assume you have to be friends with someone first and then have romantic interest, or you have to have romantic interest in them first, then become friends, and they forget the other way round can work, if that makes sense. But yeah, you kind of, there is like a little bit of both in there, right? You need to, in my humble opinion, is you need to do that. So, hello ToyCat, can you give me some expert advice for my driving test? I want to drift epically on the streets of Dagenham. I'm doing manual. Oh, if you want to know something fun. Okay, so Shafat Matbar, I'm going to break your heart right now. By the way, I love these streams where we get to kind of answer the occasional question here and there. I think it's a fun opportunity. Chatting with chat is fun, is what I will say. But I like the live videos better. You tend to yell in the other ones, says Erica Woodall. You know, do I tend to yell in my other videos? I'm sorry, I need to get my point across really clearly. No, it is definitely there is definitely a style change, right? I'm sorry you don't like it, though. I'm glad you like the live streams. I'm looking forward to Caveman, and indeed, I want to do some other fun little challenges. I think there's a weird fact of live streams that, like, if they are a self-contained challenge, they actually can do quite well via search for people who just want to see like basically a raw Let's Play, which is something that I quite like. So I wanna find more self-contained single challenge episodes like that, and so that is my plan for fairly soon. Also, some grocery stores have the single-serve milks, white milk, chocolate milk, etc. You know, I appreciate the advice there, Raina Matheny. So yeah, I think that one of the Toycat. I hope you see this. I started a new YouTube channel. You seem pretty successful as one. Is there any tips you have for starting out? Honestly, when you're starting out, you need to just throw everything you can at the wall and see what sticks. A lot of people are like, I'm going to start my Let's Play part 1 and I'll upload 100 parts and then by the end I'll be successful. But it's actually like, you need to find what niche works for you. I don't know what that means necessarily. Like, do you like, you could make a tutorial, you could make a project video, you know, like, find a sub-genre that really, really works for you and you'll do great. Also, Your Country Owns Mine says, Will of Hill Gaming and more. Whereabouts do you live? But yeah, so Dagenham is one of the lowest pass areas in the entirety of the UK. So if you're about to do your driving test and you're gonna do it there, statistically you're gonna fail. Just accept that. Oh, by the way, so I hate beer. I've mentioned this forever. I really don't like it. I don't understand the societal norm around beer because to me it just isn't good. Maybe that's weird. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know the way around. But yeah, I every now and then I try to do like exposure therapy because sometimes you go somewhere where they're like, do you want a beer or you know, like water? And I'm like, well, can you not make something more fun? I would love it if like someone goes, do you want a beer? And I'd go, oh yeah, that'd be great right now. I sure am thirsty. As if the best way to relieve thirst is to drink something which literally takes water out of you, by the way. I think it's a dehydrant, what's the word? An X? It gets the water out, it's bad. Also, single-serve milks are so expensive, though, per ounce. A single-serve milk's the little ones that come in packets like this. Or is it like... I've never seen single-serve milk. I have no idea what we're talking about, by the way. But yeah, my partner became my bestie before we did anything intimate. We're getting married this year, says Ice Maiden. See, right, but then, you know, a lot of people either think that's the only way or think the other way's the only way. Where you get... You romantically first and then the other way around. It's you know, you get to choose, don't you? That's the beauty, is choice. Choice is always the beauty. See, I really hate beer. I never gotten into it. I think, you know, I can blame it on the carbonation. I can blame it on lots of things, but it doesn't change the fact that it just does not work for me. Also, where is my shulker box? Is it even lower down? Do you see it? Did I pick it up? I must not have picked it up. It must be down here somewhere. But I can't tell you where. It must be higher up. I remember about 160. Toycat, would you ever do a collaboration with iCraft MC? iCraft MC. I feel like I know that name. Maybe. You know, without knowing who they are. You know, it's one of those names that like sounds familiar to me. I love the idea of collaboration. Realistically, someone else has to come to me with a good idea. Because they're not, like, whenever, like, setting up a collab is hard. Even when you're, like, enthusiastic about it, you come to someone, they're like, yeah, I'll do it, but, like, there's gotta be a good reason. We're not just gonna make a generic video together, right? Like, you need to have something unique to bring to the table. And the answer is, it's like, you never really have something. Like, you need to have something that's so unique that makes sense for both of you to do together. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of beer. It just does not taste good. And so, for a birthday gift, someone who knows I don't like beer got me deliberately very, very sweet beers. I love sweet, I love sugary. And so, this is my secret. You know, I like to have a fun beverage during these streams. So here I have oh wait, you can't read it. Caramelized pineapple spiced IPA. After a whole summer of drinking pineapple spiced rum, we needed to make this into a beer, rich caramelized candied pineapples with your favorite rum spices, vanilla, cinnamon, and cola nuts. What is cola nuts? You ever heard of cola nuts, chat? It sounds like it's a joke that ends with you getting hit in the hitting your testicles somewhere. But yeah, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a shot with all those flavors. It sounds delicious, right? But it is beer. Can it overcome that? Oh, it's so beery. It's actually the least bad beer I've had in years, maybe. It's, I feel like that one sip didn't ruin my day, so that's a positive, right? I was intimate with a guy on the second date. We've been together 30 years now. You know, see, okay, so that's a great example, right? Of like, everyone assumes you have to do something one way round, but the other way around works. Like, two people have their own success stories of going one way or the other. Maybe for you personally only one way works, but for most people you can probably like try a bit of both. Like the truth is you'll know someone's good when you find them. Do you like beer incorporated into foods like beer cheese or beer battered fish? I like beer battered fish, but I don't know if it's the beer that's doing it for there. I feel like you could probably put lemonade in there or something. It'd be just as... It might be more delicious, because lemon and fish go together. Thank you very much, pulled pork, by the way. Appreciate it a lot. But yeah, I don't get too drunk. I have a single low percent beer that I can't drink. Oh, yeah, can't... Oh, no, it's going to kill me. It's literally going to kill me. Or bring me back to my shulker box. You know, maybe it's not such a bad thing after all. But yeah, it's the malt for me. Hate it. Yeah, it's just, too much for my delicate taste palate. Is a taste palate a thing? A taste palate. No, it's something else, right? It's a tongue palate, maybe? Anyway, my tongue palate is not a fan. It's gotta be... No, maybe it is taste palate. I'm pretty sure. It's the IPAs that suck. There's a beer called a sour beer. I'm working on my sugarcane farm as well. Are you gonna grow sugarcane into the sour beer farm? That sounds good. Sounds like a good time. That was a convenient thought. It really was. So we got more success stories, by the way. My major point is to say that everyone, like, it's almost like it feels like it's a trait that people describe mostly like as an autism thing, I think. Is like getting locked into a certain way. It has to be done this way, it cannot be done another way. I mean, but even though that's like, it's something people ascribe as a, you know, mental health condition thing. Like it's something people describe like that. Everyone has a familiarity bias. You do something once one way, and you assume that's the way it's done forever. It's a weird and kind of scary. Like, an example would be hanging out. You can go on a date or hang out with friends, either one. Like, you could hang out with a date or go out with, you know, or go on a, you know, you can do, like, hanging out with people is really simple. What's an activity that you'd like to do together? You can way overcomplicate it by being like, no, you have to get coffee on the first date. And, you know, maybe, I do actually like the idea of, like, having a clear, firm first date. Who asks someone out to coffee just for a friend chat? Who knows for sure? You know, you might benefit from that, or you might benefit from specifically not doing coffee because you don't want it to look like a date. I don't know you. I don't know your plan, your life. Instead of drinking alcohol, try and convince yourself it tastes good. Why not drink something that actually tastes good? It's because I have these sitting in my fridge and I have to try them at some point. But I also think that I think negative experiences shape us more than positive ones. In the same way I was talking about earlier, going from 0 to 1 is such a big increase, and 1 to 0 is an infinite decrease. Like, you appreciate something by not having it. I think bad experiences are the ones that can shape us a little bit more. You know what you like in a drink way more by having a bad one than by having a good one. You might not actually know what it is you like about, say, lemonade or orange juice. You might think that the thing you like about orange juice is that it's orangey, but then you try an orange drink that's, you know, not as sugary, and you're like, oh no, it's not the oranges I like, it's the sugar. The oranges are why you think you like it, and the sugar's why you actually like it. I think we're filled with false preferences like this. I think we're genuinely filled with things that we think are true, but are true for reasons other than what we believe them to be. Which is kind of wild, really, if I had to say so, because it means that, you know, like, false preferences lead us to make faulty decisions all over the place, because how can you make a correct decision if you don't know what your own preferences are? And so having negative preferences at least helps you shape your vibe of what's good much better. My favorite kind of beer is free beer. You know, there's a good example. You know, do you really like this because it's good, or do you like it because it's free, or do you like it because someone around you likes it and you like to be easy? You know, that's a perfectly fine reason to like something. But I think knowing your preferences and why you have them and all these various things are good ideas, if I can say so myself. Where is my sugar box of the sugarcane in? I definitely had it somewhere around here, right? Oh, well, that's a mistake, huh? Okay, so, yeah, there's a whole sugar box, half filled with sugarcane. I've just got to find it. I'll find it. You know, it'll be around here somewhere. I think I put it in one of these, maybe. You know, it's gonna be around here. I'll find it. I don't see it yet, but it'll be here soon. But yeah, hopefully they aren't old. Unopened beer can go bad after a time. I've learned from, I got into The Last of Us recently, and I've learned from that just how many things go bad quickly. So, in the show, they make some reference to, like, because of the age of gasoline, what used to be, like, you know, 12 hours worth of going on a tank, you have to refill your gas tank every hour or so. And funnily enough, I looked into it, and it turns out that gasoline, or petrol, whatever you want to call the stuff you put in your car, petrol actually expires after like 6 months of being left in the open. It's more like a year or 2 years if you have a more modern car. But like, if you leave petrol around, it stops working as petrol. That's the sort of fact that you just might not know about. It's the sort of fact that I didn't know about. And so yeah, as I'm like, you know, like, getting into a show that's kind of about a zombie apocalypse kind of gets you in this mindset of like, oh, what are some fun... So I'm going to go, by the way, I'm going to go take my paper over to the other side of my world so I can refuel my sugar boxes. Because that makes sense to me. Sugarcane, so farm too big, Toycat gets lost. You know, get you a sugarcane farm that's so big that you genuinely don't know your way around it. But yeah, I think that looking at, like, zombie shows are so interesting because they kind of have this big fear that we all represent, which is like, what do you do in a situation where everything breaks down? So much of your day-to-day life is built on other people being there to do things for you. Is The Last of Us really worth watching? In my opinion, 100% yes. A lot of your life relies on there being like a grocery store that you can buy food from. How long can you last without the grocery store? Like a week. But even on a more day-to-day basis, your life relies on the road to work being safe and there not being some scary people with guns who threaten you and say, I will take your life if you don't give me money, or if you don't give me food because the grocery store isn't open anymore. I think the reason zombie apocalypses appeal as a narrative device is because they really make you question how much of the real world is like that. Stuff like food. So, ignoring the fact that, yeah, you rely on, like, some law and order, you rely on courts and, you know, maybe police to a lower extent. You rely on and fire brigades and ambulances and hospitals. If you get injured, you hope that there is someone who knows how to fix you out there. And if there isn't, then you die. Okay. Hope he doesn't explode. Go finish him. But yeah, we rely on all these things to just keep on existing for us. And the moment they don't, life gets hard. Life gets a lot harder. Your decisions about, like, ooh, should I watch YouTube today? Or should I play a little bit of Minecraft? Or should I instead catch up on, you know, that book I've been meaning to read? Or, you know, whatever the dumb thing is. Should I install a shelf? Or whatever dumb thing that you're struggling with becomes, how will I feed myself next? How will I sleep safely tonight? You can take our life, but you can never take our snacks. You know, that's how I would feel if someone tried to rob me for my snacks. I'm certainly putting up a fight. But, yeah, the core okay. That was bad. The core idea... also, I think I have a bunch of leather here. I hope I don't have a bunch of sugarcane. I'm pretty sure it's that I have, yeah, so much leather. And so we're going to load our sugarcane into here, because just why not? And then we're going to specifically make a ton of books and use the books as trades so that we can get... I just need to heal up my stuff. My pickaxe is dying out here. And then we'll unload the rest of the stuff after that. Nice and simple. So grab all the paper we can. Grab all the leather we can. And then we're going to make a lot of books very quickly. It turns out you don't need a lot of leather to make a lot of books. So 3 paper, 1 leather makes all the books you can imagine. Then a bunch more paper makes the rest. And so yeah, we can trade paper directly, but if you trade books, it's just like a little bit more efficient. And will allow me to heal up my thing all the way. Maybe, I guess we'll sell paper for now. Just to show the idea. Look at that, I get experience. So this is why, we got villagers that are breeding with each other. I do intend to get a bunch of these librarian villagers just sitting around so I can max out their trades at some point. So this guy wants books, and I get some emeralds, and I also get myself some lovely XP. It's, in my opinion, sugarcane farming for XP, you can do it automatically, and I also, fire departments are very important, people who don't subscribe to ibxtoycat. And think about it, how are you going to subscribe to ibxtoycat in the wasteland? You know, it's just not going to work. You're going to go on YouTube, but there's no Google server running because there's no electricity for that Google server. And, yeah, life comes crashing down real quick when you realize you can't subscribe to Toycat. You know how many fires start every minute because of that? It's at least 7. But yeah, so the jokes aside, so much of life relies on other people doing a thing somewhere that you don't even think about. Like sewage. Even flushing your toilet relies on the sewer being, fixed and cleaned on a certain basis. The sewers stop working because if the water stops coming in because the water's not being treated. And so it's really cool to think, like, how would you live in a world where you no longer had other people to rely on? And the answer is, for the overwhelming majority, we die. I am one of those people. I don't know how to start a fire with flint and steel. If I'm being honest with you, I couldn't locate for sure what a flint was. I could point at if someone said this is a flint, I'd go, yeah, that looks about right. But if you pointed at something that wasn't a flint and said, oh, Toycat, this is flint, I'd go, maybe you're right. Who knows for sure if you are or not? That's my problem. I would have to trust you. I don't have a way of independently verifying your claims about flint. So yeah, we're gonna make some more sugarcane into paper, I think, and we'll just sell it while we're here because we literally have too much sitting around. So we haven't done paper trades in a while. Let's do some paper trades. Maybe some book trades while we're here. But yeah, I was homeless for about 8 months. This was before YouTube though, so I did survive. You're very, very lucky. In the days before the ibxtoycat YouTube channel, there was something called like a fire department and a fire detector. I don't know how any of it works, but apparently it kept people safe. I'm glad, people made do with what they had back then. So let's see if our armor is healed up. It has. It's just down to my pickaxe and my axe and all that stuff. It's gonna get just a little bit better by trading all the paper we have, just while we're here, right? And then we'll dump the rest in a chest somewhere, and it'll be great. So yeah, I am now going to find someone else here. I have a bunch of villagers lying around. It won't take me too long to find enough of them to do the basic trading with. Easy. Okay, so sugarcane, please be a perfect stack. It's not a perfect stack. So throw the string on the ground, pick up the paper, and find another villager who will sell me some paper. Oh, also some books. Or sell me some emeralds, I guess. It is, oh, and I guess while we're here, we'll also use some of those books to get mending. Or unbreaking, whichever one I'm lacking all the time. I feel like I always have a higher need for mending than I think I do. So we'll just buy a few books, maybe just buy one. Just always have an extra mending book lying around, and then sell a bunch of paper to the guy to make up for it. Even some books too. It's weird because you can tell which of my villagers were pre a certain update and which ones are post. Just by the trades there. But yeah, I find Apocalypse is endlessly interesting because it's how you learn about basic life survival tips that you just don't need to know. Like, let's be honest, knowing how long spaghetti lasts in a can is not important for your day-to-day life. It's only important because, how do you get food? If everyone else dies besides you, you're the only person left in the world. How do you survive? The answer is, I guess you go to the grocery store and then you don't pay because there's no cashier to stop you. Mwahahahahaha. In fact, chat, is it okay to steal from the grocery store if every other person alive is dead? Is there a concept such as stealing if you're the last human being alive? What if like 99% of human beings are alive? Sorry, 99% of human beings are dead. So it's not that everyone's dead. It's just that enough people are dead that, like, you know, is at that point, it feels a bit more like stealing again to me. In my humble opinion, it's a tiny bit like stealing. So I'm gonna drop down all the sugarcane boxes, and then future me will really appreciate these. We're gonna be very, very good, well covered for a while. So yeah, I think that yes, it is low. See, but it's weird. Why is it? What's the difference? Like, there's no person that benefits or is hurt when you steal from the grocery store. If you were dying inside of a grocery store that's been locked for the weekend or something, and the only way to survive was to eat their food, would that be okay? Also yes, right? Like, there's this weird thing where if you need something, it's like more acceptable to steal it, which is a weird factor for our life. But yeah, the weird thing about the grocery store, you steal from it, it's fine. There's no actual moral issue. Although maybe there should be. Maybe it's still stealing in my opinion, but everyone else disagrees. So, I'll be honest, I'd steal from the grocery store too. Eventually, you run out of things in the grocery store, right? Even if you lock yourself in a grocery store, you lock yourself in there real nice. So you lock yourself in the grocery store, and you very quickly will run out of food. There is, you know, like all the fruit and vegetables gets bad quickly, so the place swarms with flies. But if you can just get rid of all the fruit and vegetables, then you've got like months worth of cereal. You've got some canned beans. You know, like it's an interesting point of survival talk, right? Like, is how long can you last in a grocery store? I think there's a YouTube video about it actually. It's a fun question, right? In my opinion, it's a fun question. Maybe just to me. But let's go, those communist tests made Toycat comrade. There's an argument that goes, laws are only valid if they're enforceable. I think we always have a social contract that exists regardless of how enforceable laws are. But I think the moment you see someone else break the social contract, and there's no chance of them being enforced against, you think, oh, I can do that too then. I think that's like a tricky place that we exist in as well. I brought books back with me. I really shouldn't have brought books back with me. Oh god, I've got too many books. Too many books. I've got lots of mending books too. Definitely do not need this. Do I have books in here? Okay, I'm gonna have books in here now. Future me's problem. So, yeah, also says Mr. Get a chocolate croissant for the price of a regular croissant, says Riggins Rally Girl. You know, this is one of my great crimes that I have confessed to. I want to talk though. You know what, chat? I know inflation affects everyone in a very real way, but I went to Lidl the other day. I used to complain about, or I used to say, I would get a chocolate croissant. They cost 39p, and I'd pay regular croissant prices. I think a regular croissant was 24p. Now it's gone from a regular croissant is 49p, and a chocolate croissant is 69. The price has doubled. The amount that you can steal has doubled too, admittedly. But like, man, croissants are expensive. Inflation is not a good thing. I have that hot take that inflation is not my favorite thing in the world. Is it illegal to enforce the law if no one breaks it? Is it illegal to break the law if no one enforces it? There's a really interesting discussion about, is a law the notion of an idea, or is a law the gun you're willing to put to someone's head to be willing to do it? Like the whole idea of a government is basically to be the bad guy. You know, everyone's like, oh man, the government's evil, out to get us. And then some people are like, no, the government must be good. The government to some extent has to be evil and unfair. So I read a little bit of I think it's like Socrates is like the Republic. It's one of the hardest. So it's like some people are like, oh, it's okay, you read philosophy. But he makes a really interesting point from a 2,000-year-old book, by the way. So I read this book from, 2,000 years ago. And the guy there, and Socrates, this guy, I don't know if you heard of him. He's somewhat of a big deal. He makes a really interesting point that laws have to be unfair. The whole point of laws and justice is that there is a big unfairness which exists, because at the very, very top of everything, there has to be some, you only seek a higher power when there is an unfairness between two people, and that higher power kind of has to be unfair. If you think about your parents, when they're settling your squabbling, your parents will never be fair and just in it, right? They're just going to be like, look, I'm just going to put this right, I'm going to take this from both of you, I'm going to cut the baby in half so that neither one of you gets it. Like, you need to have this, like, deep, unfair system. The Republic is Plato. You're right, actually. Funny mistake. I read the book and I didn't get the author right. Thank you for the correction. But, so he makes this grand point, that, like, actually, the very existence of rules is to be unfair. Also, Jericho, do you ever think about building an automated farm that drops all the products into lava? Yes, actually. That would be an even more pointless farm. That's a good point. Clearly, I have not been thinking about my pointless farms hard enough. I need to up my ante on it even more. Okay, so sugarcane goes in here. I'm gonna fill up these empty slots. Maybe I should start by filling in some of these. Just like this one. This chest looks more empty, so it needs to be filled in more. What is the number in the bottom left? Is it the time? Says Moxie the Foxy. By the way, welcome to the stream. I know you're new here. Hope you're doing wonderful. But yeah, it's the member count is in the bottom left. I mean, it's the time somewhere, maybe. But yeah, I want to ask your opinion, chat. So, again, these chill streams are a good opportunity to actually talk about, like... Also, thank you, Monster Jam Fan 2002. I love your videos, Toycat. I appreciate it. I think that showing support for something is an underappreciated thing. But I love that you like watching my stuff that amount. It is you like it a real tangible dollar number. And I like that a lot. Thank you very much. That's $3.25. Is it $3.25? Okay, it's $4.25. So, yeah, I think the very notion of laws is to be unfair. You have to have a cruel thing at the bottom of it all, so that ideally people don't even resort to it. Like, if your mother and dad were perfectly fair, you'd try them all the time. If you weren't sure if your mother was going to beat you up for suggesting that your brother's being mean, you'd only come to it as a last resort, as a real last cry of justice. I think that's quite an interesting idea. Written by Plato, but it's a fictional dialogue, so not totally incorrect. So Socrates said it, just as a character. Yeah, there we go. Checkmate, everyone. Got you good there. I thought it was like a really compelling argument because, I don't know, like there's a. It's weird, honestly. Like I was expecting after reading the book, like anything written 2,000 years ago can't be valid. I'm like a chrono snob, right? Like anything that is new is usually better than the old. But like in this, several, I think 2,000 is way too young, by the way. It must be like 3,000 years. But in this, there's a really interesting thing that I'm sure you'd agree, chat. But he makes the point in this fictional dialogue between two characters. One of them's like riding a cart, and one of them's like a king's nephew or something. And the guy's like, you know how I can tell that you inherited your money? And he's like, how? And he's like, because you don't love money. If you make money yourself, if you're a businessman or something like that, you have a love of money that is like a love for a child or a love for something like that. It is something. There is a real, tangible, like feeling that you have towards it. But when people are neutral about their money, they didn't make it themselves. Is the basic kind of gist of that, right? Is if you love your money and you love what it does for you and what it is and what it means, then you probably think. Does philosophy age though? I think it does to some extent. Like the new, like if you think about, to my mind at least, the really interesting philosophical questions about like, is it okay? Can a robot ever decide as good as human? Like, you know, this comes up all the time. Like, could a human, the decision, if we have AI automated driven cars, right? And a car has to decide, there's a person right there. It can crash, killing the occupant, guaranteed 100% chance. Or it can go forwards, crash, killing the pedestrian, 100% guaranteed chance. Who should the car hit? Genuinely is a debate, like, should the car prioritize itself and the occupant for who paid for it, or should it prioritize the well-being of people above it? Let's say it's 2 people outside the car, because I think it should save the occupant, right? Like, no one would want to use a car that doesn't. But if it prioritizes, what if it has to save your life by killing 2 people? Then is that worthwhile? The trolley problem tells us no. That, like, well, obviously you would you know, it's in my mind. Also, I just subbed to you, Proud, says Angry McKnighting Lutz. You know what? Yes, thank you. Loving money sounds horrifying. I don't understand how people don't, like, I mentioned this, like, you know, maybe this is just me, but I don't understand genuinely how you cannot love money. It is the thing at the root of you being allowed to do basically any, like, if you want something, there is probably money tied in there somewhere. The only things you can't buy with money are health, relationships, and, like, maybe, I guess, family, but that's relationships too. Health and relationships are the only thing you can't buy with money, and there's a certain type of relationship you certainly can buy with money. And so, okay, let's, like, just spill this around, make it look like a lot more numbers. If I make them all look, okay, wait, I'm gonna make this look like 6s. Here's my genius idea, chat. I'm gonna make this look like 6s, and then I'll make this look like 4s. And now it looks like 64, right? Your brain reads it and you're like, yep, there must be 64 in there, roughly. This is my genius at work. And then we'll store the rest over in this one, I guess. Just start to fill it up. Just whip everything into shape. And just kind of spam 2s everywhere. It's one way, you know, this is a way less efficient way to do it. I can do this later. It'd be more efficient just to chop down more sugarcane than to distribute it evenly. But yeah, I think that basically everything you can work on with money, and I think our whole economic system relies on people wanting more money. Like if genuinely, like I know there are some people who get to this point. Let's be honest, there's people who get wealthy through means other than their own. Maybe you have a really cushy job with no like, you know, there are some people who genuinely get to the point where they're like, why do people even care about money? It brings so many bad things in society. Why don't we just all do the things we love for each other? Thank you, Good Rabbi, so much for becoming the 426 member. But yeah, I think that, also, not entirely true, and both my lungs collapsed. I went through surgery for close to $1 million. Do you think I'd survive without money? The funny thing is, there are very few countries, actually there's quite a lot of countries, but in the country you probably live in, they probably still treat you, but then just bill you for the money afterwards. It's a weird thing where actually having $1 million and then having $1 million worth of hospital treatment is way worse than not having $1 million, in my opinion. I would rather not have the money and then just go bankrupt than I would have the money and have to like pay it all, right? It's but yeah, I think that a lot of people don't realize how much comes from money. Like, so many people, this is in my personal life too, like, even people who don't have a lot of money don't appreciate what it does. To them, money is like, every now and then someone asks, can I have a certain amount for this? Like, oh, the train man says I need to give him £20 to go there. Oh, the bowling man says I need to give him £30 to go there. Oh, the nice man at the bar says he'll make me a delicious drink, but it'll cost me £9.95. Like, some people think of money that way, where just, like, you get a certain amount, and then you spend a certain amount, and then if you have leftover money, that's just wasted good stuff too. I think having a good relationship with money is really, really hard in our modern society. But at the same time, if you can get more of it, and you can do so in a way that makes the world a better place, which, you know, inherently in itself, there's a really interesting argument that when you make money, most of the ways you can make money are making the world better. Like, even if you think about, like, being a cashier at the Walmart, right? You might think, yeah, that's not making the world a better place. That's just, you know, like, working for a mega corporation. Then they give you, you know, minimum wage at the end of your shift. But actually, no, you are allowing, you are, you know, like, allowing lots of people to buy goods. If there were no cashiers, the grocery store, I mean, it'd use robots, but if there were no cashiers and no robots, the grocery store would not work. That opinion is illegal to have on the internet these days. Oh, sorry, what I meant to say. Sorry, wait, if you're just getting in here right now, capitalism is really bad and is responsible for all our problems. And all the problems that it's not responsible for, it's responsible for anyway. Try and fight me if you disagree. There we go, problem solved. But yeah, basically anything you do. Totally agree, greed ruins. Having a healthy respect for money is fine. It's when it becomes a driving force, I think it becomes a problem. Right, it's like one of the... I think you've got to, like, take a step back from money. Like, don't think of money as money, right? Because, like, when you see it as, like, coins, and it gets confusing. If you think about how would a world exist without money? That's what I would say is the place to take it. How would a world exist without money? And the answer is, well, we would do things for each other, and then you would, like, keep track of who done what for who. Because if you're a painter, you're not going to paint Bill's house if Bill is really antisocial and does nothing for anyone else, right? If Bill is just really lazy and doesn't, like, he's meant to bake cakes for everyone, but then when it was your daughter's birthday, he said he didn't want to bake a cake today because he didn't really like it. You don't, and you know, he hasn't baked a cake in weeks because he just says that he doesn't like baking cakes. Yeah, you're not going to paint his house. You're going to paint Marjorie's house because Marjorie stepped in at the last minute, and because she sews things, she made a cake but out of wool or something. Right, so, you know, like, if you think about, like, okay, so, if everyone just did what they were good at and what they liked, then eventually you'd start to do things more for people who did things for you than people who didn't. And so, like, okay, now Marjorie's helped you, but she doesn't need your painting services, so you can't even paint her house in exchange. But she's like, yeah, but actually, my plumber Bob really needs his house painted, and I haven't helped out Bob in a while because he doesn't need anything knitted. So maybe you could help, you could paint his walls, and then he could, like, you know, he could, like, do my plumbing, and then I could keep knitting you things because I really like you. But, like, you know, obviously my house needs to be painted. And then, yeah, like, it can go very, very, very deep. And then eventually you're like, okay, so you're doing the plumbing for Bob, who's doing the carpentry for Steve, who's doing the I don't know what jobs there are in the world, honestly, the internet installation for Jim, and Jim's doing the marketing and sales analysis for David, while David's doing the financial, you know, like management and wealth resources for Tim and Dip, and Dip wants to have a cake from you, so you've got to make a cake for, and that, you know, it gets confusing. So what if everyone just keeps track of, like, a credit? Every time you do something nice for someone, you get 1 credit. So you're like, okay, you give Steve gives you a credit, and then you give that credit to Bill, who gives it to David, and then you can, like, oh yeah, now you're all doing nice things for each other, and that way, you know, like, the guy sitting at home who's really being antisocial, he doesn't get to benefit from your niceness because he doesn't have the tokens. But what if instead of using 1 token for every time you do one thing, because it's not fair to say baking a loaf of bread is as hard as painting a room, or, you know, like, you know, plumbing in an entire new bathroom. So maybe plumbing in a new bathroom is worth, like, 3 credits, and painting a house can be worth 2, and, you know, like, sales and analysis can be worth, like, you know, 1.25. But then, like, obviously we need to, like, have a way to keep track of this, so we could have, like, we give it a name, rather than calling it units, we could call it, like, I don't know, like, come up with a word out of nowhere. I hear the Spanish are calling it a dollar, or a pound, because we could make it equal to, like, a pound of silver, perhaps, and boom, now you've invented currency again. Like, obviously, each of those steps is real fair, but once you get real removed from it, I think the thing that makes people hate money, and honestly, rightfully so, is that you are born into the monetary system while the game has been playing out for a while. Because Steve has been doing plumbing for Bob for 12 years. He's accrued 1,000 credits. Bob's been doing plumbing for Marjorie for a lot of years. He has 5,000 credits. And so by the time you're born, there are so many credits that are already issued. Those credits that are just someone did something nice for someone. Also, this is weird. I figured it would take up these slots, but apparently not. Those credits that make you do someone nice for someone have already been issued before you were born. Which feels like, like, because, like, in a system of credits where if you do nice things, you get nice things, you're going to be maxing out the nice things you do. My job in this system is I give people, like, identity crisis and, make them question what it means to be alive or something, I give Minecraft advice, right? And so I'm gonna provide as much Minecraft advice as I can because I really want Bob to replumb my house because it smells like pee in the downstairs room sometimes, and I want someone who's a good plumber to look at it and tell me why, because every plumber just says, oh, I could fix that in 5 minutes, but it doesn't actually fix it in 5 minutes. So I just want someone who I trust to do it. So I'm going to give a lot of Minecraft advice out, so someone gives me some plumbing. But I think the point where it becomes really unfair is when you're born, like Steve's been doing plumbing for Bob for 100 years, so he has a bunch of these credits. And then Steve expects you, like, I don't know, you're going to make him a coffee or something. You make coffees for 1 credit each. Steve just has a bunch of credits, and he gets to have a coffee from you because he did something nice for someone forever ago before you were born? Really? That's unfair. You weren't even born. He didn't do that nice thing for you. He did it for someone else. And, like, ultimately, if you look at the money, like, well, you haven't done anything nice for someone either. Like, sure, he has credits where he can make you do nice things for him, or he can ask you to do nice things for him. But you haven't done nice things yet, so you've got to get your credits of your own. And it feels unfair that someone's got 9,000 because they've been alive that long, and that they can use those credits to outbid you on things. If I want to do Minecraft advice and get 0.5 credits, it's going to take me 18,000 pieces of Minecraft advice before I have enough the same credits as Bob. But also, I can't just, it's not that I can just save up to get those credits to get buy Bob's house off him. I also need to get credits to live every day. I need to give Marjorie credits for the cake. I don't know if she did cake. I forgot about the village. I need to pay someone some credits to keep track of names for me. But yeah, it's a fun little thing. Basically, the whole system is complicated. And at some point, it just seems like, why is Bob out to get me? Why does he have so much more than I do? And it's a genuine unfairness to come into a game where the money's the credits have been stacking up more and more into one particular quadrant of society, right? In my humble opinion. Also, hi ibxtoycat, how was your vacation? Great to see you again. It was pretty good. Thank you for asking. It's weird. One of my favorite things about traveling away is having time to think of ideas for what I want to do when I'm back. I kind of treat it as like the idea time, because if I'm at home and I'm trying to have idea time, there's always stuff I've got to record. Like, I don't know if you know, did a video about some Ninja Turtles just before I started streaming. But yeah, so it's like there's always something that's like gotta get done right now, here, there. So having something else in there is kind of nice. Speaking of kind of nice, by the way, sorry, I need to drink more spiced pineapple. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, it's the best of them so far, but it's still so bad. This is my sign that I just do not like the things that I'm drinking. But yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I hope this is a good catch-up. So, here's something I want to change, chat. And I want to make sure you all agree with me before I do this, because, in my opinion, memberships are a community feature. They are something that we kind of do together here, right? It's weird to say, but it is true. So, also, man, I'm picking up so much sugarcane, chat. I don't know if I need this much sugarcane. To be totally honest with you, I'm pretty sure I don't. But, so, you don't pay your employees enough to keep track of things. Cough, 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 cat. Every time that I say something where I'm like, yeah, save that for later, I give Cat massive applause for actually managing to keep track of it there. Also, credit inflation, says the Cat manager. I think that's the other reason people don't like it. It's because you think to yourself, yeah, 0.5 credits for Minecraft advice, that's great. But then I can't give Minecraft advice for 0.5 credits anymore. And so, and the plumber can't plumb a house for 5 credits. He can only buy 10 pieces of Minecraft advice for that. So he has to charge 7 credits now. And then, like, for me to get my plumbing, I have to do more, and it becomes a whole thing. Also, more super flat when ibxtoycat, and love your video, says Turtle12. So if 1.20.20 comes out next week, super flat can come back. That is that's official. Those are the words. I'm saying it, so you know it's real. Yeah, I would like for that to be a fairly soon thing. Will it be a fairly soon thing? Let's find out, I guess. Yeah, I'm now going to take my books, and I'm going to take them all the way over to my... Yeah, I'm going to fill up on sugarcane, and I'm going to go over there. Also, Boxy Blue Luck.
Hey, Toy Cat, I hope the farming is going desert well. I have my caveman challenge progress ready for the August round.
Oh, that sounds fun.
As a person, heart, love the stream.
That sounds really fun, actually. I would love to look at people's caveman challenge worlds. I like looking at people's super flats. Looking at the caveman challenges might be a lot of fun. You know, if you're watching this right now and you're playing caveman, I would love to see what you can do. You know, I'm Boxy Blue Block. Thank you for the bribe. I am 100% susceptible to them. I think better off you as a person now. It's all good. Why do you enjoy torturing yourself, Toycat lol? Why does anyone enjoy torturing themselves? The answer is that it's actually not torture for me. I do think I'm just about done with my sugarcane harvesting part of this now. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to my house, pick up the lever that's over there. Then I'm going to put the books back away in the armory. Or not back away, but put them away there. Or I could just bring them all the way with me, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take them all the way back to there. But yeah, hi everyone, by the way, you can bone mill sugarcane and get it much faster. I've never actually mass used bone mill on sugarcane. It just seems like not the best idea to me. Maybe I'm wrong though. But yeah, so okay, here's chat. Here's the scoop. Yeah, here's the scoop. This member count right here. You might have noticed it's gone down like 120 in the last week. It's because the month before last week, we got gifted a lot of memberships. I think it must have been the week of 1.20 coming out. But, you know, whatever the reason is. It's a... Oh, so we can now... Oh, I took all the lever already. Where'd I take the lever? Is it in here? Why is the shulker box just filled with eggs? Okay, so I've already moved all the lever. Which means if I want any more lever, I've got to do it the old-fashioned way. Or just take it from here, I guess. But yeah, there's a bit of a problem with, like, when we count gifted memberships towards this member, like, 99% of gifted memberships, because they don't renew by default, no, becoming a member after a gifted membership is just the same as becoming a member from scratch. And so I think, if I'm being entirely honest, counting gifted memberships towards this total makes no sense because it goes straight down. When you gift a membership, you're allowing someone to have the benefits of membership, and you're giving a tip, like I get $3-ish on each of those. But I think treating it as anything more than that is kind of a waste, right? Like, seeing this number go up and down is so weird to me. And so I'm thinking what we just do is if you give memberships, it's not going to count towards the total, right? Because it's not... No, you're not actually becoming a member. You're getting a free trial to being a member. You know, like, I don't think that counts. In the same way that if you download the tutorial world trial or the a mashup pack trial on on console edition, they're not going to count that as a sale. Like, sure, some of those people might buy it later. But yeah, I think also 426. That's the identifying number of the store I work at. Oh, that's suspicious, Riggins Rowdy Girl. Maybe everyone at your store. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, gift membership is a gift, not a member. Yeah, you're not becoming a member. You're not signing up. You might genuinely, some of those people who get memberships don't even want them. So I'm thinking what we do is I want to have a member goal and I want it to count because by hitting we hit member goals by having gifted memberships, but it just meant that we immediately went under the member goal. And it's like, it feels like we just go from 400 to 600 all the time because yeah, we lose members so quickly. It's like when we had the really cheap 99p tier of membership. It was like, technically you're becoming a member, but also you don't actually get the, like, You know, like, it doesn't... The point of being a member is not that it's... Oh, yeah, you get it. Like, it's meant to be more to it. Brand accounts who could never get memberships. Brand accounts can't get memberships. That's an interesting lesson for me to learn. So let's go to sleep. It's actually handy right here. It only works if you sustain the membership. Yeah, it could be that if you get gifted 20 memberships every month, then you wouldn't ever have to decrease it by 20. But you're going to count those, like, if you get 20 gifted memberships in March, then April, then May, then June, it would sound like you had 80 members added to the pile. But actually it goes up by 20, and then at the end of July it goes down by 20. It's confusing maths, but I want to say it right now. Because I know if I do it on the spot after a gifted membership run, someone's going to be like, oh, Toycat, do you just hate when people... And it's like, no, I do think the best way to tip is via Streamlabs, but it's not even my concern. My only concern... so let's make a lot of paper, by the way. It's not even my big concern. My only big concern... My only real concern in the matter is that it doesn't actually do what you might expect it to. And if it's... What's the point of a membership? Okay, also trading paper is now expensive. I definitely shouldn't be doing it at these prices. But I'll just do a little bit anyway. Because why not? Oh, how did I get a cleric in here, by the way? So yeah, we'll find the last few villagers that I haven't traded with. We'll sell them some books. We'll sell them some paper. I will sell this guy all the way up into the books and the paper. Oh, this guy is mending for 18. Oh, why? I've been overpaying, chat. I already knew I was overpaying, but it hurts more that I see how much buy. And then this is Power 4. Not a bad villager. Let's see what you've got. Okay, wow, new, fresh villagers that I just have not traded with. What a rarity in this world. Make 42 books. And then just trade them all away. And what's this? Fortune free? Oh, that's good. Fortune for me. Heck yeah, I want that. And this is Bane of Arthropods 5. Admittedly, I don't think I've ever had a Bane of Arthropods 5 book. I think I might have to have this too. Oh, that's the worst bit. That's the worst bit. I haven't got a month without membership and also have never paid for a membership. Wait, is that true? That's interesting. Oh, right, you are right on your Big Salmon account, right? That makes a lot of sense as to why it doesn't work. Like, we're counting memberships multiple times of gifted memberships, and it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. So yeah, that's why I want to change that, chat. But I want to make sure you all get it first. And again, I like to believe I'm at least somewhat democratic. You know, if you didn't like it, then you know I wouldn't change you or anything, but I pretend to. Also, look at this. You can open a barrel. Oh, that's so interesting. That's one of those weird bedrock things. Could get you killed, maybe even. Also, woo, this librarian's a dealer. Yeah, apparently. So should I buy the fortune free off him? You gotta have it just for your library. Okay, you know what? Let's do it right now, chat. Let's spend the absurd number of emeralds that it will be. Let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna make a lot of sugarcane into a lot of paper. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make ourselves. Okay, so we'll make some more books first. Just easy way to get rid of the paper. I mean the leather. I'm gonna buy myself Bane of Arthropods, chat. I'm gonna go crazy. I know it's wild. Should I get Infinity one? I don't think I need it. I'm gonna buy all the books that I can here. Because I do need to get some of these things working, right? So let's do it. What are you selling? You got an interesting book for me to buy? Knockback 2. I wouldn't say that's an interesting book for me to buy, but thank you. Also, look. Oh, yeah, today we got our pickaxe basically up to full. I mean, not basically up to full. Like, it's like halfway there, but that's okay. Have you noticed how we're not getting, like, we're getting basically no experience. But yeah, we'll get enough emeralds from selling these that we can buy, we'll get enough emeralds so we can buy the most important thing of all. Oh, we got a fresh villager here. Just what I love to see. Sell him some books. A few more books than you'd expect. And just one more villager to sell some paper to. Okay, expensive. Maybe grab the last of the sugarcane and we'll be good. Okay, you know what, chat? That's going to be my last act for the day. Okay, what we got? We got some more sugarcane, which means I can take this box back with me. I think I should move some of this into chests, but I think it's obvious what's in there, and it's nice and easy. I'll grab some more books, maybe, actually. Yeah, grab some more books. Can't hurt, can it? Make some more paper. Got lots and lots and lots and lots of paper. Too much paper, some would say. Too little paper, others would say. And then we're going to go to you. Is it you? It's not you. Actually, wait, that's a cheap book, though. What is that? Do we want this? Infinity 1? No. Do I want Frostwalker 2? Not at that price. Projectile Protection 4? Also not at that price. I think I should try and find some really cheap books and enchantments to, okay, get up to 16 or 17 or just whatever we got to do. Make the trades happen, get the stuff. There we go. In reality, I've spent many of my own dollars and memberships on my other account. I said it recently. What just happened? I'm sorry that something happened. Okay, so trade 2 of these onto my axe. And now we can finally buy mending and we can buy power. Wait, that's not what I want. Also, look at this long villager house. I forgot that I made this. I should build some bookshelves too. I could buy them. I've got the emeralds, right? Yeah, I think that's what I should do. I should build a bunch of bookshelves in here because I build bookshelves, build beds. Just expand the number of librarians that I have. Go absolutely wild on this. Could be a fun little let's play. So Bane of Arthropods and Fortune. I'm gonna buy them both. This hurts, chat, but I need to have them. Oh, it hurts so bad. I just gave this guy 62 emeralds for an enchantment that literally has no value. Literally has none. I mean, I don't know if literally is the right word, but it literally is. If you say literally enough times, it becomes true. Now we can throw the book and the paper away. And I think at some point coming back here with a bunch of lecterns. Like, make an insane number of villages, like 100 or something. I think that could be fun, right? I think that, how many of you guys are real members? How many Darrens are Glorious doing? I think all of the Darren members are gone right now. I don't know for sure. But yeah, that's why I think it's important to have, like, oh yeah, we have an actual... we have an actual member counter, and you're a full member if you get gifted it. And I really am excited if you get gifted a member. If you can't buy it yourself and you really have to wait and pray that someone gifts it to you, I don't think that's even a bad thing. I just also think that it doesn't necessarily count in the same way. Okay, so let's go back home. Did you get your Quebec shot? My Quebec shot? Oh, shot glass. Oh, I actually didn't. Okay, I'm gonna go back. I actually am going back somewhat soon. I want to go to Detroit. I don't even know why. But getting to Detroit is surprisingly hard recently. But yeah, I want to go to Detroit, and I think it involves going via Quebec. Don't ask me the geography logistics of that. But I found a place where you can go. Oh, is this a horse? Huh, that's useful. Yeah, I'm gonna go put the Bane of Arthropods book away. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I've got some fun plan with that, I think. Okay, let's go. Have 2 number counts. Yeah, but the second number count just doesn't make any, like, I think that's why we can't do it. Just one member count. Oh, I guess what you're saying is 1 member count and a goal. That might be a good idea. Like, have, say, out of 600 or whatever. So we can have, like, little text around here somewhere. Is that the right text? That's not the right text. Is this the right text? It's not. Is this the right text? Nope. Something else entirely. Is that the right? No, that's not it. Okay, somewhere around here. I can set it up so it says members. You want to go to Detroit to become human, dear? Is that the only place that people get to be human? Is that what the premise of Detroit Become Human is? I can't believe I didn't know this entire time. Delta Alliance has Detroit as one of their hubs. That is a fact I know, but yeah, it used to be that there was a flight to the UK from there, but there's now no longer one. So I'd have to fly somewhere, connect. Much easier just to drive all the way from Quebec. Trust me, it's just science or logic or something. So I think I've got all my books here, which is great. We can now go. I think I went to the wrong portal. Okay, we'll go for a nice fly, chat. Let's go for a real nice fly. Okay, so one of the fun things, you know, when you get your fireworks, you tend to get used to using them all the time. And sure, I have 64 fireworks because I got a lot of paper today, but I want to save my fireworks. And so let's go on a big view of the sugarcane farm. It currently goes all the way from 0 to 320. I really want to fill it from 0 to minus 64, but it's such a time-consuming task. I need to commit a lot of time to it. Like, it's going to be like a dozen hours or something crazy. By the way, here's that Toycat tax. Says, that guy Huckle. Thank y'all kindly, that guy Huckle. I appreciate y'all $5 super chat. If you'd like to support the channel, then a $5 super chat is one of the best. Well, I guess a $5 tip is something I appreciate because it shows that you think it's worth at least $5. $5 dues, that is to say. Detroit has their own style of pizza for some reason. Detroit does not have their own style of pizza. They have their own marketing team that will try and convince you that Detroit pizza is a thing. Is that the same as having your own pizza? I think not. Okay, so this is not Bane of Arthropods, right? This is Bane of Arthropods. I lied. I now officially... Okay, look at this chat. This is groundbreaking. I officially have Bane of Arthropods 5 locked down. And I'm going to rename this book to Bane of Arthropods so I can throw it up there. It's kind of weird that you have to do that, huh? But, yeah, we named the book Bane of Arthropods. I think this might be a fun stream by itself. Just the whole collecting every enchantment in Minecraft. So Bane of Arthropods with Bane of Arthropods 1. Did I put this? This just says spawns, right? So this will just say Bane of Arthropods. And now we know that's what's there. We might have to put a second enchantment on it to cover that, but I'll think about that later. For now, that is 3 versions of it covered. There are a lot of these going on, though, which I guess we'll have fun collecting. So yeah, we'll work out the number of enchantments. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 out of the, I think it's like, there's 40 unique enchantments, so it's like 100 and something possible ones. I need to go and get every one of those 100 something enchantments. Would be a fun stream, right? We'll take a few hours. Because some of them are going to be really, really weird to get. Like, you can't... That'll be the fun, I guess, maybe. That'll be the fun. Maybe I should just get villagers and have them live down here in the basement. Maybe at some point that makes the most sense. Rather than going all that way for my mending trading villager, maybe if I just put them down here. Because if you think about it, I've already dug this far down to have the library. So we just have another layer down below this, where 1 trillion villagers can live. Might be some fun, right? Do you like that idea, chat? I think I like that idea. Well, it's not 5, but it's a signature, says Sir Fugsy. Thank you very much. You know what I'll buy with your $4.20? I'll buy myself a fraction of a kebab. And then, I don't know, definitely not any illegal drugs in this country. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to gathering the rest of these enchantments. I have all the paper that I'll need to trade with villagers to get them to do it. I just need to get myself an industrial number of villagers. Like a seriously industrial number. Which sounds like it might be fun. So I look forward to seeing you as I do that one. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. I'm back to the Caveman Challenge. The only thing that I'm missing, if I'm being totally honest with you. So for the Caveman Challenge, I don't know how Wandering Traders spawn. I found one today. I'm guessing they only spawn above Y64. But I need to find out if it is even humanly possible to get a Wandering Trader to spawn. So I'm going to do some fun tests, maybe. And we'll wait and see. Or maybe we won't. Either way, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on Thursday. You'll be automatically redirected to that live stream after this one. So just hit notify me when it goes live. And, yeah, I think that's kind of fun, personally. I look forward to seeing you there for what is probably my favorite series right now. I'm really excited to, like, terraform that cave, put some trees up somewhere. It's going to be great. So, are you going to caveman the Wither? Cavemaning the Wither does sound fun, huh? It is definitely... It's one of the clear challenges that I should be working towards. I think I want Netherite first. But yeah, maybe for episode 10, we can, like, work towards the Wither and having a beacon. Because having a beacon in a cave also sounds pretty fun, right? Anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good one. See you next time. Oh, I didn't put my fortunal mending away. I'm going to be a responsible person. And I'm going to do precisely that now. This is my chest with all my... Oh, God, there's a lot in here. Now, let's put these away. Okay, hello, I'm ibxtoycat, and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. Today, I'm going to be collecting every single enchantment that exists in the game. That's right, you heard me. There's 108 of them, but I'll be getting them all anyway. Wait, sorry, I think I said end of the live stream, not beginning of the live stream. Okay, goodbye. Don't buy caramelized spiced pineapple IPA. I don't know what it means. I genuinely don't know what IPA is and don't want to ask, but it's bad. So yeah, I'll see you later for a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video, or on Thursday for Caveman Challenge, or never again if you die in your sleep tonight.